So we're the pack mates, and we're doing the Dominaria United green cards. And so we're starting off here with Bark Weaver Crusher. It's a 3 converted mana, 3 colorless, 1 green for a 2/5 elemental warrior with enlist. I like the toughness on this with the enlist mechanic. I think it's going to be good, but I don't know if it's in the right colors for it. So, as just a kind of guy, I'm thinking it's like a 3 to a 4.
I'm not like a 5 on it. I think it's okay. It's mid, but I think Green Ducks will probably win it.
You know what I hate? 5 5s for 4. You know what this is? This is a 5 5 for 4. This is maybe bigger. You're right. This is in green. This is at least a 6 5 for 4.
Yeah.
What are you giving it?
I'm going 6. Going 6.
It might be okay. It might be okay.
It's gonna be good. It blocks everything.
It gets blocked by everything too.
Not when you enlist.
That's not true. Because you can't block this with any random 2/2.
This
big dumb 2/5.
If this had reach, it would maybe be a 7.
Oh yeah, that thing.
If it had reach, it would probably be an actual 6.
Yeah,
it already is an actual 6. You see. Sorry, what were you saying, Andrew?
No, definitely so. I gotcha. It'd be a 6 for sure if you had that. If it had another ability other than enlist. But I think that 5 toughness is just pretty decent.
Oh man, the 2/5 enlist, this is at least a 4/5 when it swings, right? Minimum.
If you got other creatures on the board.
Yeah, that's a box I check every game.
Oh.
Next up, we have Bite Down, which is 1 in a green. Instant target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature or planeswalker you don't control. This is pretty good. We see this in every set. You're always going to have big creatures to target with if you're in green. So this is like a 6 for me.
Yeah, I mean, to me, this is pretty premium removal in green. 2 mana instant. They don't even fight. It's one of those punch cards. So to me, that's a 7 for the 2 mana instant punch.
These cards are really good. Been traditionally good with your death touchers and what have you. This is definitely a 6 premium removal in green.
Right, next we have Bog Badger. It's 2 colorless and a green for a 3/3 Badger with kicker black. When Bog Badger enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, creatures you control gain menace until end of turn. I think this is solid 3/3 for 3 with potential getting lethal in, but I'm not super high on it for being a 4 mana kick because it doesn't really give itself anything. I'm at a 4 with this. I'm kind of lower than I think most people would be, but I'm at a 4.
Well, you're definitely lower than most people would be. I give this guy a 6. I think in this Jund strategy or this kind of green domain strategy, that green black splash tends to go a little bit higher in the curve. And I think when you start giving your bigger green creatures that evasion, it's just going to be something good. So a 6 is where I'm at for this.
3 mana 3/3s are always good. And it has upside. This is like a 6.
All right.
I'm wrong.
Oh, you're wrong.
I'm wrong. It's at least a 5. It is a 3 mana 3/3.
Yeah, you're tripping.
I'm wrong. It's at least a 5. We'll switch to a 5.
Broken Wings. 2 colorless and a green for an instant destroy target artifact, enchantment, or creature with flying. All-star and best of 1. As far as in sealed and things like that, it's always a good sideboard card. This is always pretty much a solid 4. It's going to tag something.
Yeah, I have this at a 4. You play this in sealed, you play this in best of 1 sometimes, but you're never excited.
Yeah, this is one of those cards you're always kind of wanting to cut to me, but it's always great to bring it in from the sideboard, and it feels super good when you're playing a bunch of flyers. So I'll put it at a 3.
Yeah, next up, we have Colossal Growth, which is 1 in a green for an instant with 1 red kicker. Target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. A +3/+3 until end of turn. If this spell was kicked, instead that creature gets +4/+4 and gains trample and haste until end of turn. I have this at like a 4. I don't think it's very good. The trample is nice. The haste is nice. The haste isn't nice. Like, I don't know why you'd ever want a trick to be like instant speed. Like, I don't know. I think this is pretty mid. I've got this at a 4.
+3/+3 for 2 is always fine. Obviously, it's not giant growth, but +3/+3 for 2 is fine. The fact that you can give it trample and haste is kind of big. If you're looking to push through the last bit of damage, you're holding this, you top deck a 2/2. That's 6 damage coming at you from the hand, which is pretty hard to do with a lot of cards. So this could be good in your more aggressive decks, or if you're just trying to get through with your big dummies. But I give it a 4.
Yeah, I'm on a 4 for this one. It's not very good without the kicker. I feel like the kicker pushes it up. It would be a 3 to me, and then kick it up to 1 because it has kicker. But that trample, the haste is going to be mostly irrelevant until you get to the really extreme late game. But that trample is probably going to be the most relevant part of this card. So, yep, 4 for me.
All right, next we have Deathbloom Gardener. It's 2 colorless and a green for a 1/1 elf druid. Has Death Touch. Tap, add 1 mana of any color. The Death Touch on here is good because once you don't need the mana anymore, you can just trade it off with whatever you want. The fact that it costs 3 is a little bit weird in the curve. Usually, like, these cost 2. They're much better. Usually, when they cost 3, you get to draw a card or do something a little bit better than have Death Touch. So to me, you're going to kind of need this more than you're going to want it. So for that reason, it's a 4.
I think this thing's probably going to end up being a 3. I think these extra mana colors are pretty nice when you're kicking things, but you're probably going to, in these kind of decks, you're probably looking for more domain stuff. And so I don't know if there's anything that just fetches out a land. This might be better than this. You know, you want it to ramp, but you also want it to Death Touch. So you really can't play. It's got a weird dichotomy there because you want to keep it untapped, but you also want to tap it, and so it's going to have a real identity crisis there. So 3.
I fucking like this card. I genuinely think this is okay. Like, I think I'm gonna pick these way higher than anyone else. Like, it just seems solid. Like, it does multiple things. You're paying a little bit of tax, but like, I don't know. I like it a lot. I'd probably put it at like a 6. I think you're gonna actively want this.
Did you say a 6?
Yep, 6.
Oh my god.
I'll take one of the best green comments.
Oof. That's probably
One
good.
of them.
It'll probably be good.
This is supposed to be serious business.
Yeah. Deathbloom Gardener is serious business, right?
Oh my gosh. All right, next up we have Elf Hama Worm. 4 colorless and a green for a 5/4 worm creature. Vigilance and trample. We've seen cards like this before that are normally 5/5s. You know, you add the vigilance onto it, now you just get minus of power. I think that I can minus it down to a 4. You know, this would normally be a 5 in some sets, but I think this 4 is probably where it's at.
Yeah, this is probably a 5 for me. Like, a lot of times 5/4s are just decent. Like, they're just big beaters. Like, if you need a big beater, Elfham Worm will be there for you. So
Yeah, I'd rather have this than like the ward guy that costs less than for your instant sorceries. I feel like this is just a 5/4 for 5 with vigilance trample. It's just solid. It's just solid. I think you know there's no shame in playing 2 of these in your deck, and I think it's 5 verging to 6, but we'll start it with the 5.
all right, next up we have Floriferous Vine Wall. I'm glad I get to read this one. It's 1 and a green for O2 plant wall with Defender. Whenever it enters the battlefield, you look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may reveal a land card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom in a random order. Yeah, this card's gas pack is super good. I'm gonna be picking these way too high. Gets you a land, it helps turn on your domain. Super good. It's amazing. I'd give this. I might even go to 7. I'd probably take this over removal, but I don't know. It could be wrong. Yeah, I've got a 6.
There's no shot this is ever taken over removal.
I will take this over removal.
There's absolutely no shot. What do you think, Andrew? No shot?
I mean, I can't believe you rated that a 6 when you just rated Deathbloom Gardener a 6 as well.
This is better, but there's not a 6.5.
This is just a 0-2. This trades with every 2-drop. What kind of defender can he? Well, what am I going to be playing? 1/1s is going to block all the 1/1 tokens? This might as well say 2 mana, look at the top 6, get a land. Sorcery.
Good.
That's bad.
I mean, this is basically a better. This is like an impulse that just gets only lands.
Yeah. Because it only lands and it saves you from 2 damage.
Yeah.
This is a 4, if that. It's better than the Defender deck. It's a little bit better when you need to hit your big drops. If you got a bunch of big drops, big green deck, you want to hit your lands, but it's not great.
Yeah, I'm not quite a 4 on this one. I'm actually a 5 on this one. I think it's pretty good. It curves really well. I mean, especially if you take a kind of sketch, kind of 2-land hand, you're gonna want this dude in there just to smooth out that mana. And plus, like, you're gonna want to turn on that domain. Not quite a 6 because it's not just a take over any kind of removal, but definitely a 5. I mean, this guy's probably making the cut most of the time, especially if you're domain.
Did you read the keyword on that, Ryan? Defender, too?
Yeah. What is it defending?
Busted. Your life total.
Maybe once.
Yeah,
maybe.
That's all you need. That's all you need.
Man.
I think we should rate this card also based on the fact that it's an O2 right now, but it will eventually be an O2 plus you get a 1/1 bird token.
Or they mill an extra card.
Yeah.
This is like very good in the Defender deck. I mean, very good.
This
in
is
the Defender
exactly
deck.
what you want in the Defender deck.
Yes,
sure.
This is me hitting my land, me finding the land that I need because I'm probably 3 to 4 colors. This is, and it's fine in the domain deck because it just buys you a turn and replaces itself with the land in your hand, which is what you need. But
I don't think these are going to wheel very often.
Probably not.
Outside of those 2 decks, it's bad. Go ahead. Next up, we have Gaia's Might. Instant, 1 green. Domain. Target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn for each basic land type among lands you control. This is almost baseline giant growth, which I'm down for. This is a solid 5.
Yeah, this is a solid 5, and it has way upside. If you've ever kicked this thing all the way to 5, it's definitely the feel goods. This is probably one of the best pseudo kind of. I mean, it's a combat trick, but it almost feels like a removal spell most of the time. Super easy to play, and you're just getting value out of this thing every time. 5, easy.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I think that 1 mana combat tricks are always where you want to be. Just so easy to cast them. I have it at 5.
Next up is Hexbane Tortoise, a 2 colorless, 1 green for a 3/2 turtle with Ward 2 and Enlist. Man, there's so many other Enlist creatures here. I just don't know if that Ward is good enough to merit playing this guy in a deck. I'm kind of soft on this guy. I'm going to say he's a 3.
Yeah, I have about 3. He seems like complete ass. like, why do you want this to have Ward first off, and then it's got terrible stats? It's 3/2. I don't like it.
This is your Bogle. This is what you're getting up and then listen. Yeah, I'm giving it a 4. I mean, it's a 3-2 for 2, or sorry, for 3. 3-2 for 3 with a couple keywords on it. That's okay, but it's going to be card 23, 22, and you're not going to be super thrilled to be playing it.
Yeah, I never intend to play this card.
Or for me, I guess.
Yeah.
Be playing a deck full of Hexbane Tortoises coming at you with 6/2s into your O2 walls.
I will say, like, a deck just full of Hexbane Tortoises would probably be kind of scary. like just this card.
You think
Yeah,
so?
maybe.
I feel like it needs just like a little. It's just weird that it's a 3-2 and not a 2-3. It would be so much better if it was a 2-3.
Yeah.
I
I don't know. Because it's just going to have like a massive power, right?
It could. It could.
But like,
Maybe.
it's going to die to everything because
It just dies to everything.
This
The
is
war
your
doesn't
combat
matter.
trick vehicle, right? This is what you're swinging with when you got the tricks deck, which is usually not that good, but maybe this could make it work. I don't know.
I remember in Ixalan there was like a hexproof 3-drop or 4-drop that was like literally Bogles, like in draft. Like you just slap an enchantment on it, just slap your enchantment on your Hexbane Tortoise. Yeah, it could be a thing.
Yeah.
I still think it's bad.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's great. It's fairly statted for 3-2. Like it's fairly costed for 3-2 with 2 abilities, though. So for that reason, it's a 4.
Yep. Next up, we have Llanowar Stalker, which is 1 mana for a 1/1 elf warrior. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, it gets +1/+0 until end of turn. I think you might want this. I'm not sure. You might want this. I'd probably have it at like a 4.
I like a 2 on this. This is just bad to top deck. It's pretty much only good on turn 1. And those 1-drops that are only good on 1 are usually not the best. So for that reason, it's a 2 for me.
Yeah, I'm definitely at a 2 for this. It runs out of gas so quickly. Just terrible top deck in the late game. Not really that effective on the board. No evasion, just a little bit of plus. I don't think it just has enough gas to get going. Although, it may be wrong. If there's a really aggressive deck out there, then you're going to definitely want to start with this. But that's got to be really low to the ground and have a lot of 2-for-1 type creatures or creatures that make tokens with it. Then it looks pretty good. But it's just going to be block, die to everything. 2.
Yep, you guys sold me. I'm going down to 3. I still think it's better than that, but I think it's probably not a 4.
All right, next up is Magnagoth Sentry. 3 colors and a green for a 4/4 reach. 4 mana for a 4/4 reach seems pretty good to me. I'm at a 5.
Easy 5. This guy's making the cut every time. Reach in this set looks like it's going to be pretty good. There seems to be like a Flyers type strategy that seems to be pretty prevalent here.
I'm at 5. It's solid.
All right. Next, we got Scout the Wilderness. 2 colorless and a green for a sorcery with kicker 1 colorless and a white. Search your library for a basic land card and put it into the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. If this spell was kicked, create 2 1/1 white soldier tokens. This is pretty good. I am down to draw this probably at 3 or at 5. It's just going to be impactful. I think it's probably a solid. It's definitely a solid 5 for me.
I have it at 5. I have it at 5 too. It seems pretty good. I think I'm gonna play this.
Yeah, you're gonna play this a lot in your decks that need it, your domain decks and your multicolored decks. But I don't know how much you'll play it in just a green stompy type deck. Maybe a little, maybe some, which is enough to put it out of 5 as well.
Yep. Is it my turn?
It is.
Yes.
Oh, my bad. Sorry. Snare. Next up, we have Snare Spinner, which is 1 in a green for a 1/3 spider with reach. Whenever it blocks a creature with flying, it gets +2/+0 until the end of turn. Yeah, this is good. I'm gonna put this in pretty much every green deck. You're gonna cut it some of the time if you're like hyper aggro, but I think it's solid. I have it at 5.
I also have it at a 5. I think it just does. If you need this, if you need a reacher, this is the reacher you need. 3/3 for 2. Doesn't get much better than that one. It's blocking a flyer. It's not quite as good as the Kamigawa one, but still gets the job done. So 5 for me.
Oh, I'm cutting this guy and putting him in my sideboard every time. Unless I'm really, I mean, this guy's at the bottom of my cut list here. You know, he's definitely going to be that one card where you're like, all right, I may need this, I may need that. It's maybe for curve purposes. It's not one that I'm putting in my first 20, though. No way. And this is definitely out of the sideboard. A 3 for me.
I have a question for you, Andrew.
Was that
Would you play this over the Naturalize, whatever it was?
Broken Wings?
Destroyed, yeah, Broken Wings.
I'd probably play the Broken Wings over this.
Oh, that's wrong.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. I would play this over Broken Wings for sure.
Out of the sideboard, I'd probably play the Broken Wings, especially if you know what kind of flyers they're using. I mean, it's all dependent. It's all dependent. If they got a bunch of tokens, then you just want this dude. But for the most part, you know, if you're looking at destroying some bombs, that dude's not going to destroy a bomb.
I'm talking in the main board and best of ones.
Best of ones, I'm still probably playing the Broken Wings then.
Really?
Yeah, the more versatility on that. It destroys an enchantment. It destroys. It just straight up destroys something. This guy could just die to a removal spell or just be eaten by another creature. You're not attacking with this thing. You're just going to have it sitting there.
I mean, it blocks. It blocks pretty good. Blocks everything pretty good.
Does it kill anything? Like if you're blocking like a 4/4, if you're blocking like a 3/2 that you guys that if it dies as the Horn Turtle, and the Hexbane Tortoise is pretty bad.
Man.
I still have it at 5.
Yeah, I don't know.
You convinced me at all.
Oh my gosh! Well,
your stance on some defenders,
oh man,
compared to this is just inconsistent to me.
Is this in your top? If you put this in, you're looking at 20 cards here. Is that in your 20?
Yes.
Yeah, this is one of the last cards I'm cutting, unless I'm just loaded on 2-drops, in which case I'm aggro.
Ugh. I think there's just so many more premium 2-drops than this.
What did you give the Clockwork defender guy? Like the
1 mana 0/3 that can tap stuff.
Yeah, that guy actually can take down a creature. This just sits there.
It doesn't block Hexbane Tortoise very well.
It doesn't, but it can sure tap it. You can tap
no,
it for
5 mana.
Yeah, it's more than the snare spinner can.
I would put
the snare spinners never get involved in that guy. The tortoise just walks all over this guy.
I would put 5 snare spinners in my deck before I considered a 0/3.
I would put those 0/3s in my deck and probably still win because that snare spinner's not even getting past the 0/3.
5 of them would.
I think even if I had 5 of them, they still wouldn't. I'd just tap them down, or I'd just block them. Yeah, I don't know. I think you guys have way overrated this card. I think it's a sideboard card at best.
Oh man,
yeah,
that's just a hot take.
But please play it against me though. I can't wait to just play a 3/2 and just look at and just stare at that thing and just be like, "Can you block it now?"
Clip this.
Yep.
Clip this board state picture when one of us beats Andrew with this card.
Please. It's going to be a slow-ass game because you're going to only be dealing 1 point of damage to me.
They always are slow-ass games.
I don't know if you know this, but I'm going to have 22 other cards.
Oh, my gosh.
But also, when you beat us, when we have this out, you need to take a picture and bring it up because this is...
I definitely will.
This is that good. This is that good.
Oh, yeah. This is going to be great. I can't wait till you guys put this in your 23.
When you're tapping your 15 mana to tap down my 5 snare spinners,
you might as well.
I'll admit I'm wrong.
Yeah, they just 1-for-1 each other. They just blank each other.
They do blank each other.
Yeah, they blank each other, and then I get to tap down your best creature
for 3 mana every turn.
That's fine by me. That's more than this guy's doing.
Oh man, this guy is completely blocking the airwaves for 2 mana.
I can't wait till I beat you with that tapper. It's gonna feel real good. It's gonna feel real good.
I'm ready for it. I'm so ready
Please
for
do.
it.
All right. What do we got next?
I'm be flying right over his head. All right, here we go. Next, we have Sunbathing Rootwalla. It's a colorless and a green for a 2/2 creature lizard. Has domain for 3 and a green until end of turn. It gets +1/+1 for each basic land type among lands you control. Activate only once each turn. 2 mana 2/2 that can buff itself. Potentially +5/+5 as a 7/7. Could be very good late game. I think in the domain deck, this is a solid 2-drop for you. I'm going to put this at a 6 because it could even be a 5/5 in a regular deck.
I have never seen a more majestic Rootwalla. Just bask in that guy's glory right now. He's taking it all in. That dude's a 6. That domain is going to be tripping every time, even for 4 mana. And it really just gets past all those snare spinners that you're going to see your opponents play. 6.
All right. This card is the best green common. This is a 7. This is genuinely going to be a 7. Whenever it heads in to battle as a 7/7, it's going to be fucking disgusting. And I think this is going to get picked up super early.
Yeah. Agreed. This guy is just premium. I don't think there's very many. He's so aggressive early and just what a threat.
Like
He's
even in
always damage.
a 2-color deck, he seems fine, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think the threat of just pumping this guy is always going to get you the 2 damage in. And if you got 3 mana types there, this dude's never getting blocked.
Yeah. Yep, just chipping away for 2 all the time, which is exactly what you want for your 2-drops. He's still online late game.
All right. Next up, we've got Vine Shaper Prodigy. 1 colorless and a green for a 2/2 elf druid with kicker, 1 and a blue. When Vine Shaper Prodigy enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put 1 of them into your hand and the rest at the bottom of your library in any order. This guy's pretty solid. I really like him. That kicking is going to be good, and I feel like this green-blue archetype might be a sleeper here. All this card draw that you're getting from this guy is pretty good. I have it a solid 5.
Yeah, this shit's a 7. This is Organ Hoarder. Like this is literally Organ Hoarder, right? Like it costs extra colored mana, right? But like this is fucking super good. I might take back what I said. This might be the best green common. I have it at 8. I'm gonna play this every time. This card's gonna be stupid. Yeah, super good.
Okay. Yeah, when you lay out your mana curve, you put this in the 4-drop slot. You don't even consider playing this for 2 95% of the time. Right?
For sure. For sure. It's fucking good.
Yeah, this is Organ Hoarder.
Yeah.
But they go to the bottom of your library, which is fine. It's not as good as the graveyard. It's a 2/2, not a 3/2, which is still fine. It's like a little off-brand Organ Hoarder. So instead of the 8, I'm going with the 7. But it's still
I'll go
very
with the
good.
6. I'll raise it up. You guys evoke the Organ Hoarder. You can't just use that guy's name lightly. That guy's draft royalty. This guy's just 6.
It kind of reminds me of Pac-Mate a little too.
A little bit, yeah.
Like it's not as good as Pac-Mate, right? Yeah. But like being able to anticipate is pretty good. Like,
yeah, that's very nice. The digging's pretty good. It's always just relevant. Digging that many cards is very relevant late game.
Next up, you have Maya Sojourner, which is 7 and a green for a 4/6 tree folk with domain. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each basic land type among lands you control. Straight gas. Straight gas. It's basically a 2 mana 4/6. It's Gurmag Angler. It's amazing. I have it at 7. You're gonna want this.
Isn't the least it can be is 3? Because you reduce 5, right? So the least it can be is 3.
It's 8. Yeah. It's a less good Gurmag Angler.
Oh man, this is not Gurmag Angler.
You could theoretically turn on domain on turn 3. that is possible. I don't think it's that crazy there.
Yeah, you just play 2 common tap lands and then a forest, and then you have them, right?
Yeah. That's pretty good. Like if you could ever do that reliably, this card is like genuinely broken. Right?
Wait.
Like
Is this the constructed set review? I'm sorry. Or just the limited set review?
how many common top lands do you think you'll be able to get, Ryan?
With
5
you at
or
the
6
table,
easy?
with you at the table to be a little rough.
0. But like if you could get like 5 or 6, what's the threshold? How much do you have to pay for this for it to be good?
If you get 5, let's say you get 5, 6 maybe. So around a third of your lands are uncommon. I mean, it all depends on your mana base, but obviously this is amazing at 4. It's fine at 5. It's not great at 6, right?
Yeah, it's par for the course at 5. It's undercosted at 4, and it's broken at 3, obviously. But that's just magical Christmas land there.
I don't think it is.
Yeah.
I genuinely don't. If you have like a pixie guide too, like you could. I don't think it's like the craziest thing in the world to get this on 3.
I
To get
think
2
this is
different
probably
colored top lands.
Yeah, this is probably the worst of the. This might be the worst of the bunch, though. Of the guys that kind of have this really high converted mana cost, but have some sort of lowering of their converted mana cost. I mean, this guy can never go down to just 1 green. Unlike the other ones that can just actually go down to just 1 solid Gurmangi territory there. I don't know. I got it at 4.
Yeah, I'm at a 4 as well. I mean, I think you're gonna want it in your domain deck, but I don't think you're gonna want too many of them. I think this is not gonna push you into domain by any means. Just because you're saying, oh, there's Yavimaya Sojourners, I'm in domain now. We're at uncommons now. We have Elvish Hydromancer. It's 2 colors and a green for a 3/2 with kicker 3 colors and a blue. When Elvish Hydromancer enters the battlefield, if it's kit, create a token that's a copy of target creature you control. This is interesting, but it does cost 7 to make a token of something. I'm not super high on this. For 7, I feel like I'd rather just have a 7/7 because I have to have something else good with this. I'm gonna give this a 4.
I'm at a 6 for this. This is still you still get 2 3/2s at the bare minimum if you kick this thing. It's decent-ish early as just a dude. But at 4, I mean, you're just copying the best creature that you got. Or you just get 2 3/2s for 7, which is pretty decent. I think that's pretty good. 6.
I have this like a 4, maybe a 5. I don't know how often you're really going to be copying a creature. It costs a lot. Yeah. I think the Hex, like the turtle, is like basically better than this. And I didn't like it, but it's got the massive upside, but I don't know. I have it at 4. I don't think you really want this.
Turtle's growing on you. I can tell.
Like, it's a good litmus test, I think. Like, just a vanilla 3/2. It's not even a vanilla, but I think it's a good litmus test.
It literally
Good
has 2 ability, 2 keywords.
It's a good baseline.
You just called
good
him vanilla. How dare you?
It's damn near vanilla.
Get out.
I'm up to a 5 on it, but I hate it.
Yeah, I think in the decks that want this, I mean, you're definitely, if you're in green blue, you're definitely ramping. Actually, if you're just in green in general, you're probably ramping. There's some good domain payoffs in the end there, and there's a ton of ramp cards in this set. So I think getting to 7 is not going to be a problem with this guy, especially if you're in these colors.
Would you be torn to take this over the Organ Hoarder, Andrew?
I'd take the Organ Hoarder over this.
Hands down.
Yeah,
me too.
Yeah, I don't think that's tough. I'd still want one of these in my deck at some point, just to get something at the curve topper, or to just like put out a game. But even still, like for 7 mana, getting 2 3/2s is even decent as a top deck. It's a lot of pressure early or late, actually, when you guys are just both in top deck mode.
For sure.
All right, next up is Line Breaker Baloth. 3 colorless and double green for a 4/5 beast with enlist and Linebreaker Baloth cannot be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. This is what I'm looking for in my enlist creatures. Just not being able to be blocked by some crummy tokens out there. This dude's always up trading to something brutal. It's just a must block. It's good. I think it's a 6.
I have it at 5. I don't think it's very good. I think most of the time it's just going to play like vanilla 4 or 5.
This is super good. If you're in green, maybe not in green-blue, but if you're in green, this is that stuff you do like. Probably in green-blue, honestly. If you copied this, it would be disgusting. This is an 8. This is better than removal. This is an 8.
Yeah, I have it at 5. I don't like it. It's a trap.
What's the worm from the set we just played in? This is that. The stupid arena set.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Linworm, Ravenous Linworm. This is Ravenous Linworm with higher power.
Wasn't it a dragon? Ravenous Lindworm?
It was
yeah,
a dragon.
Yeah.
Oh, the one that had the adventure card?
Yeah, the adventure card.
You're insane. You are
This
insane.
This is
You are
bad.
absolutely insane. That's bullshit. Like, it was so good. It had it was like 2 cards in one. Yeah. So it's my turn now. Moss Beard Ancient, which is 5 and 2 green for a 7/7 tree folk with trample. And whenever it enters the battlefield, you gain 5 life. Sign me up. It's a 6. I like it. Solid.
It's better than the 6.
You think so?
You raise it up. It's 5 life?
That's a lot of life, right? Like, normally they only give us like 3 or 4.
5?
That's
Yeah,
a lot of
5?
life. That's
Trample and
solid.
5? Oh my god.
The trample is super real too.
Would you rather have 2/3/2s or this?
Okay, it's a 7.
Oh my goodness.
It's
You
a 7,
sold me.
hands down.
So how often are you getting to 7 now?
Oh my
Yeah,
god, says the Elvish Hydromancer guy?
That's why I'm saying for you guys, because you guys told me you were never getting to 7, and then you guys rate this guy at a 7+.
If I
Good
play this
lord.
guy, I'll jam 0/2 defenders all day. I don't even care.
Man,
This is solid. This just wins the game, right? Like,
it's a
like-
finisher. I think
it's
it's
a
solid.
great finisher.
Yeah, I think it's a 6. I think it's solid. I don't think it's
Stabilizes you.
it's.
Because you're
stabilized.
taking damage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, this is the payoff for ramping all those turns and just taking a beating. I think it's fine. I think it's a 6. It's nice to get more life than just 3.
All right, next up we have Nishoba Brawler. It's a colorless and a green for a star 3 trample cat warrior as domain. Its power is equal to the number of basic land types among lands you control. So I think bare minimum this is going to be a 2/3 trample for 2. And the majority of decks I think will try to get some sort of common, domain lands to help them with their kickers and things. So this will often be a 3/3 trample for 2, which is above rate by a lot. This is a cheaper Jewel Thief. So for that reason, it's an 8.
It doesn't make the treasure.
It costs 1 less, so it doesn't need the treasure.
Yeah.
Yeah, this thing for me is definitely up there. I mean, this is pretty aggressively costed. That 3 toughness is really good. I think it's a 7. I mean, you're just going to want this at every portion of the game. It's just so solid on 2. If you're getting in there with a 3/3 on 2, I mean, that is just nuts. Way above curve. Good. 7.
Yeah, I have this at 7. It's basically Wild Nikotl. It's disgusting.
All right. Next up, we've got Slimefoot's Survey. 4 and a green for a sorcery domain. Search your library for up to 2 lands that each have a basic land type, and then put them into the battlefield tapped. Look at the top X cards of your library, where X is the number of basic land types among lands you control. Put up to 1 of them on top of your library and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. It's pretty decent because it actually can search up the dualies. in this set, the common ones. I think it's pretty solid. I'll give it a 4. It's probably making the cut in my bigger green decks.
Yeah, I think this card's sneaky good. Like I have this at 6. I think you're gonna want this in your domain decks. This like instantly, like you're at 5 domain when you play this. Like as soon as you play this, you're instantly at 5 domain. I think it's good. I think you're gonna want it. It might be a little too slow though.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I feel like the slow part like pays off with the look at the top 5 and take one, right?
Yeah, but you don't get to take it.
It's on
That's
top.
the one
Oh, no, it's on
problem with
top,
it,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, it's on top. Oh,
It might be a 5 for me. But like this instantly you're at 5 domain. Like
yeah, for 5 though.
yeah. Some decks are gonna want that, I think.
Yeah, I think I'm with Andrew. I think it's a 4. But I do think if I have enough 7/7 tramples, I'll jam one of these just to get to 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It gets you 2 lands, right? It gets you from 5 to 7.
Yeah, when you're playing 7 drops in your deck, like you're definitely
Yeah.
playing this kind of card. Or if you're going for the higher kicker cost on certain things, you're playing this card. But it's just not too impactful. I mean, it's impactful enough, I guess, because you get to search for that one big payoff with that X for your domain.
Next up, we have Strength of the Coalition, which is 1 green mana for an instant with kicker 2 and a white. Target creature you control gets +2/+2 until end of turn. If the spell was kicked, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. This is good. This is genuinely good. I think this is probably like maybe even like a 6 for me. I like it. I like having a 1 mana trick too.
This is like the 3rd or 4th board wide anthem we've seen already. Jesus. These are going to be scary.
For sure. I agree with that.
They're all going to be scary. The red, they're in every color, but maybe not blue. Because there's the red black one, there's the green white one right here. There's a white red one. Mm-hmm. And I think there's some uncommon creatures that have anthems on them too. Oh my god, they're going to be scary. This is pretty good. If you need +2/+2 to win a quick combat, that's fine. If you want to pump the whole board, it's fine. Green white's gonna go wide definitely some amount of the time. To me, it's just a solid 5.
This is a solid 6. If you got a creature on board, this thing's gas. If you got multiple creatures, then this is even better. I mean, man, they're really pushing the envelope on these uncommons. Every single green uncommon I've seen thus far is making the deck. I mean, this is just nuts. Green's pretty outrageous right now. This is a 6.
I think the fact that it's putting counters on your creatures too is like super real, Ryan. I'm surprised you only put it at 5. Because like you could put easily like 3 or 4 power on the board for like 4 mana, right?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's pretty gross.
That's true. The only thing I'm thinking is if I do have 4 mana and I'm in the green-white deck and I want this type of effect, I feel like I'd rather play the white +2/+1 anthem for the one time sweep. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know.
I could be wrong though. I definitely could be wrong. This could be nuts. Even if it just even if this just makes your creatures win a combat and trade, like that's pretty good for 4.
Yeah, I just think the scalability of this thing, just costing 1 is already good. And then to be able to scale to kick onto it, it just makes it even better. It's like making a decent card even way better.
Just the blowout potential is just real, right? Because if they just kill the dude that you target with this, oh my god, you just get wiped.
I mean, that's any kind of pump spell, though.
I think the thing that pushes it over the top for me is like the fact that like how often do you have like an anthem effect just rotting in your hand? Like
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, like this is like live from like turn 2 and on, right?
I mean, for me, never, but for other people, I hear that's a problem.
Just having an anthem like rotting in your hand.
that doesn't happen to me.
You're gonna have a lot of those white anthems rotting in your hand in this format, Ryan.
But like, if you target a dude with this, the whole thing fizzes, right? If I kill it, that hurts.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just like any pump spell. I mean, that's the risk of running pump spells and why you don't normally run so many of them. It just happens. It's
This
part
does,
of playing a card like this.
yeah. But that's to me, that's what makes it a 5 and not quite as good. Just because the other one, you can't really fizz out the other anthems. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but the other anthem you can't cast on just one and just still use it. It's just rotting in your hand if you never get to 4 mana. Like this one's just live immediately.
That's
what
true.
makes it good.
That's true. This is way better in the turtle deck, though. I'll tell you that right now.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next up, we have a Tail Swipe. It's 1 green for an instant. Choose target creature you control and target creature you don't control. If you cast this spell during your main phase, the creature you control gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Then those creatures fight each other. 1 mana instant fight. I feel like I have to go to 8 because I rated the punch of 7. 1 mana? Yeah, I think I'm at an 8. I'm at an 8.
Is fighting better than biting? I think biting is better than fighting, but this is pretty nice that you get that main phase +1/+1 until the end turn. I mean, I'm at a 6 with this thing. It's really good. Man, yeah, just another line of just good green comment. Man, look at this thing. This green uncommon is just nuts. Good stuff.
I'm at 7. This is fucking broken. Like genuinely, like we don't see 1 mana fight effects at instant speed. This is pretty strong. Like you can just blow people out. Like this is kind of a big brain card, but like you can do some weird shit with this. Yeah.
All right, next up is Tear Asunder. 1 colorless, 1 green instant. Kicker. 1 colorless, 1 black. Exile target artifact or enchantment. If this spell is kicked, exile target non-land permanent instead. Well, it's clearly a 0. No, I'm just kidding. This card's like just premium. I mean, gosh, putrefy effects like this have always been traditionally good, and it's kind of cool that it scales up a little bit. Where if you really need that enchantment removal right away, it's there. Great for curving. I mean, this is easily a 7. Premium removal.
Yeah, I have it at 7. It's premium removal for sure.
Yep, same for me, 7.
Next up, we have Territorial Morrow, which is 4 and a green for an elemental with XX power and toughness. And it has domain. Whenever its power and toughness are equal to twice the number of basic land types among lands you control. This seems. I don't know how I feel about this card. It could be good. Could be good. I think most domain decks are gonna be at 5 domain by turn 5. Genuinely, if you're really trying to be a domain deck, and I think a 5 mana 10/10 is probably like a 7. I don't know. I have it as 7. I think it's gonna be good.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's going to be a lot better than the domain decks. A 5 mana 6/6 is not terrible.
Yeah, it's not bad.
5 mana, yeah, 5 mana 6/6 is not bad. I would never obviously put this in a 2-color deck. Even if I had 1 or 2 splash lands, I probably still wouldn't seek it out. But in the domain deck, a 10/10 for 5 is going to be pretty much stall the game out from there, and you're going to get to start doing whatever your deck was trying to do, or you're just going to start getting in with this guy and eating up their board. So, and the domain deck, I think this is a 7, but I think baseline is probably a 5.
Yeah, I got this guy at a 4. I mean, he just has no evasion. He's just going to gum up the board. It's just going to be big swinging with nothing to go on along with it. I think it's a 4. We've seen creatures like just big dumb creatures just don't get it done sometimes without any kind of trample, vigilance, or anything like that. So 4 for me.
All right, next we have the Weatherseed Treaty. It's 2 colors and a green for a saga with read ahead. The first chapter is search your library for a basic land card, put it into the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. I'm already on board. With this saga. The second one is create a 1/1 green sapperling creature token. The third is domain. Target creature you control gets +X/+X and gains trample until end of turn, where X is the basic number of land types among lands you control. So get a land, then make a 1/1, then domain +X/+X and trample, where X is the number of basic land types you control. I think this might be a 7. This is a pretty good 3-drop to set you up. Especially if you've already played your nice 1/3 spider. You combo that up with this, you're looking pretty scary.
Yeah, definitely those spiders get really scary when you give them a pump spell. Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, then they don't have any evasion. Nah, this card's pretty good. I mean, it's making the cut every time. This is a 6. And it just could randomly, just get some extra damage in there. It's pretty good. 6.
Yeah, I have this at 8. It's gas. This is fucking amazing. You're gonna want this. So much value.
All right. Next up, you have Yavimaya Iconoclast. For a 1 colorless, 1 green, 3/2 elf with kicker red. It has trample. When Yavimaya Iconoclast enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, it gets +1/+1 and gains haste until the end of turn. That is pretty good. Yeah, this is pretty aggressive in those. Oh man, yeah, that's just pretty aggressive. You can get that kicker on it for a 4/3 haste trample. Yeah, I'm all on board for this. This is a 6.
Yeah, I have it at 7. It's super aggressive. It's super good power and toughness for the cost.
I think it might be an 8. Can you imagine a line where you go the 2 mana 1/3 or X3 trampler into this turn 3? That's like 7 to the face on turn 3. That would be insane.
Yeah, then pair that up with a spider, then you're doing 1 extra damage.
Spider's a different deck, okay? But I'm gonna tell you right now, your 0/3 blockers are jumping on turn 3.
How many spiders does it take to block this guy?
2.
Oh, 2? Okay. How many spiders does it take when it's
3?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh man.
It only takes 1 Hexbane Tortoise.
That's true. That is true.
That is true. It costs 3 mana too. If your
3
opponent goes Hexbane Tortoise, and then you play this, they're just laughing at you. They're just laughing at you.
No, for the curve on this guy, if you're curving out this guy's, I mean, it's a total 7.
Yeah.
Total 7 virgin on the 8 when you're curving with this guy. I mean, this is just, that's going to hurt.
It's fine off rip, right? Like, it's fine top deck, isn't it?
Oh, it's fine. It's fine at every point of the game. 4/3 hasters with trample just get in even in the late game.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
Wow, that's a rip. This guy's a gas.
This is an 8. This is over removal without even a. All right, next up we have Defiler of Vigor. We're into the rares and mythics section. This is 3 colorless and 2 green for a 6/6 Phyrexian Worm. It has trample. As an additional cost to cast green permanent spells, you may pay 2 life. Those spells cost 1 green less to cast if you paid life this way. This effect only reduces the amount of green mana you pay. Whenever you cast a green permanent spell, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. This is pretty busted. This is pretty nuts. I think this is a solid 9.
Yeah, this is a 9 virgining on a 10. This is the best of that set for sure, without a doubt. Most impact on the board, biggest body. Oh man, yeah, this guy's just cooking with gas. Yeah, 9, probably verging on a 10. Really, it probably should be a 10.
9. It's always you're always first picking this. And Ryan, did you know that this combos with Snare Spinner?
Does it? It does make it a 2/4.
2/4, which is gas.
Actually, it doesn't. It doesn't make it a 2/4, right?
It doesn't, because it just makes all your other Snare Spinners 2/4 stuff.
Yeah,
It's
but
sick.
an army of 2/4s.
Yeah, they still
also
can't block
combos.
the kind of cast.
It's also a combo with Hexbane Tortoise too. So
I'm gonna tell you this right now: you're not getting by a 2/4 snare spinner in the air. It's just not happening.
genuinely not.
It's not happening.
I agree with that. Next up, we have Herd Migration, which is 6 and a green for a sorcery with domain. Create a 3/3 beast creature token for each basic land type among lands you control. And you can also pay 1 and a green. Discard Herd Migration. Search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. You gain 3 life. This is like a 8, maybe a. This is an 8. This is a bomb. The domain decks are gonna pop off with this. I like
Obi,
it.
what's
I
your
love
heart
it.
really saying? What's
My
your heart
heart,
really saying?
my heart really says that's a 10.
Me too.
I love it like a 10.
I'm in like 2 mana to search for a basic land. Like that's amazing.
That's okay. That's okay, right? Like,
Yeah, that's fine. Like if I get this in my opener, I'm not gonna get to 7. I'm gonna set up my other spells. I'm perfectly happy with doing that for 2.
yeah, it reminds me a lot of like the samurai from Kamigawa, but like if instead of the samurai
You got
cost
5
2
3/3 greens.
if it was Imperial Oath.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this is like actually Imperial Oath, right?
This
Like this is like mega Imperial
Yeah,
Oath.
this is something different, man. This is something crazy.
this is something. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it's
Yeah,
really
this is
special.
5/3.
Yeah, it's a special card. I
Is
mean,
it a
just the
10?
fact. Huh? No, it's not.
Is it
I
a-
don't think it's a 10.
It's a
but
10. It's a 10.
All right, my heart gives it 10.
I think it's a 9. It's definitely getting put in the deck. Your first pick in this. I mean, it's just a good card. I think you need to have the domain payoff. I think even getting like probably just getting 2 3/3s is probably good enough at 7. I mean, we've definitely had cards like that have flashed back, where that was like Rise of the Ants or something that did that, and that traditionally was pretty good. And anytime you're going above that, which you probably are, this is just good. And then just if you're screwed a little bit, you get that extra mana and you get the life off of it. I mean, this card is just gas every time, and you're picking it every time. It splashes in every deck. Easy 9. All right. Next up is Leaf Crowned Visionary. Double green, 1/1. And it's an elf druid. Other elves you control get +1/+1. And whenever you cast an elf spell, you may pay 1 green. And if you do, draw a card. This is definitely just a more constructed card than it's going to be a draft card. So for draft wise, you're probably looking into the 1s or 2s here. It's probably a 2.
Yeah, I have this at 2. Don't play it.
There's got to be enough elves for you to draw 1 or 2 cards, right?
No.
No.
So only clerics works.
Yes.
Yes. Because he
That's
trips
correct.
himself. He can eat himself to find your best creature.
He can't eat himself. I think he says
Yes, he
sacrifice
can.
another cleric.
No, sacrifice a cleric.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, that's why that card's good.
I could have swore said another cleric.
No, that card's really busted.
What's it called? Do we remember what it's called?
It's a rare, right?
Yeah, I don't remember.
I don't either. We can look into that later. Yeah, I'll give this a 3 just so I'm 1 higher than you guys when it pops off. But
Oh, it is another cleric, but
yeah, okay, thank you. It is another cleric.
so good.
It's not. By the time you sack your other cleric, get the 5, do this huge build up, I'm gonna be waiting with any removal. But anyway, I want to talk more about herd migration because I feel like I would draft it over that 3/4 lifelink angel. The one that you can pay a black and a red that's a lightning helix things.
No.
No?
Ooh, I don't know
No.
about that.
No.
That's in a different class.
But this
comes
is like
down on
you're
4.
playing herd migration in every deck. Like you're not playing the 3/4 in every deck.
Ooh, man. That
You're
3/4
playing a
is
3/4
cheating.
flyer for 4 in every deck, right?
Yeah.
That's
Like, if
double
there was
pip
a-
white.
Okay, but like 1 green and 7 mana, like not every deck wants a 7 drop, right?
Yeah, I guess not in the aggro decks. You're not
Yeah,
playing herd
like-
migration, but you're playing it in more decks than you are able to double kick the angel for sure. And you're splashing it more than you're splashing the angel. And you're setting up pack 2. I don't know. I think it's close.
I don't. I gave it a 10, but I still don't think it's.
You don't think it's close?
I don't. That comes down to 4, and like you die to that if you had this in your deck, right?
Yeah. You're not blocking that creature even when you get max. Even when you get max green beasts there, even when you get max 3/3s, you're still losing that thing. Yeah.
I mean, that thing comes out on 6 if it's shooting 2 things.
That's still in, but it's putting you in the lead too because you're gaining 4.
It comes down to 4, and it's just dealing 3 damage to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
For the next like 3 turns, right?
Right,
like, but
if
probably already dead.
If they played on 6 and I play this on 7, I win that race.
Yeah. Maybe. You're probably already dead because they could have just dealt 4 to your face to kill you.
Well, but like right now, I don't think so because I'm gaining life. I don't know. But I don't think that there's a ton of people that are going to value a 3/4 flyer for 4 as 10, like lifelink. Like they're playing it because they're in black and or red to get the extra card advantage. Like if it was just a 3/4 flyer with lifelink, it would be great. It could be like an 8.
Yeah, probably like a 7.
So it's only going to be super good in the red and black deck is only where it's like max potential 10. Whereas if this is your only green card in your deck, it's even better. You know what I mean?
Kinda, yeah. I like Herd Migration. I still would probably rather. Like, I'm going to take Herd Migration, but I think it's wrong.
Yeah, I think that I'm pretty sure that Angel is the way to go.
The Angel's sick. Like I know I understand the Angel's sick, but I feel like I would take Herd Migration over it back on pick 1, especially if it was for stakes in a big tournament.
Oh wow! Then you're. Oh no, I don't think so. I think I take the Angel and just build the deck around it.
In a high stakes tournament, I would take Herd Migration too.
Really?
Just because I
can
like
deal with the Angel with Doomblade. Like I can kill the Angel.
Play preference?
I'm not competitive.
Yeah. Okay. There you go.
but
like
I'm not as competitive.
I can kill the Angel, and the Angel provides less flexibility. I can't kill 3 or 5 3/3s or 4 3/3s or probably even 3 3/3s.
Or you're just dead before you get to 7.
I will give Ryan that the ceiling of this card is disgusting.
Yeah.
Like having 50, like 7 mana, put 15 power on the board is fucking stupid.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, there's no doubt about that.
Stupid.
I mean,
it's hard to deal with that.
Yeah.
Like,
but I think in a situation like you're getting to 4 more than you're getting to 7.
I could see you also cast this for 7 mana and then just die to a flyer. like you put 15 power on the board and just die to a flyer.
Yeah.
But the floor of this card is still sack it and search for like a land you need.
Yeah.
Like
that is true.
Good.
Yeah.
The floor is there, the ceiling's there.
Yep.
What's not there? You know what I mean?
I think the floor of a 3/4 flyer with lifelink's pretty good, and then dealing 2 different lightning helixes to something is even better.
Right, but like which one is more of an insta scoop though? You know what I mean? Like, are you gonna scoop when they play Herd Migration, or are you gonna scoop when they play a 3/4 flyer? You know what I'm saying?
I think the 3/4 flyer is probably going to lead to more wins. I think. I think so. I think that guy's just coming down early, and they're just like, "Can you answer it?" Nope. Okay, then you're basically going to die before you get to 7 mana.
Yeah, there's a ton of cards that answer it, and there's like 1 card that answers this, maybe 2.
Yeah,
that's is this in contention for the best 1 card in the deck? The best 1 card?
Yeah.
Like if you were to like I think this is in contention for the best 1 card in your deck, right? Like if you just had a card which is a deck which is 1 card.
Yeah, because it
only has
many of them.
Yeah.
I mean, it just fuels itself to get there, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. It would probably it wouldn't. It would still lose to like it costs 7. It would still lose to like a 2/2 for 2.
Well, you're gaining 3 life every turn.
Yeah, you gain
that's
3
true.
life. Yeah.
You're just getting all your lands out. You're playing 23 of these and
8 lands.
8 lands? That's crazy.
You just gotta get to 2, right? You just gotta get to 2.
Yeah, that's true. That's funny. All right.
Sorry, I know I
No,
just
you're
super
good.
derailed us, but like,
Yeah.
I think we all. Oh, go ahead.
It's so good. It's so good. And like the Angel's good, but it's just dies to removal so easy. Like I know it's a meme, but it does. You know what I mean? This doesn't.
I feel you. I have Leaf Crowned Visionary at 2. Doesn't everyone?
I put it at
Except for
3.
Ryan,
I put it at
three
3.
different.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Llanowar Green Widow, which is 2 and a green for a reach trample 4/3 spider. It's got domain for 7 and a green. Return it from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. If this permanent would leave the battlefield, exile it instead of putting it anywhere else. This ability costs 1 less to activate for each basic land type among lands you control. Definitely the best spider in the format.
Yeah, there's
Good.
no
I
doubt.
like it. I like it a lot. I'd probably give it like a. It's pretty aggressive, right? Like it's a 4/3 for 3. Has to be a 7, right? Maybe
At
even
least.
it's an 8, right? It's better than the 4/3 haste guy.
Deals with the Angel twice.
It does. It deals with half of herd migration.
What you mean a fifth?
No,
Maybe
because you
2
can
fifths?
bring
Yeah,
it
you can
back.
play it
You can bring it
again.
back.
They
Yeah,
just keep bringing it
Play
back.
it again, yeah. You bring it back once.
yeah. Only once, which is kind of
But
annoying. That's stupid they
yeah.
did that.
I don't know. I think it's good. Those little infinite decks sometimes get a little bit crazy.
Yeah, like the Theros block. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think it's a 7 Virgin on 8. It's probably an 8. Like I'm probably taking this over removal. It's 2 4/3s in one card and it costs 3. Yeah, it's probably an 8.
Yeah, if you're rating this any lower than an 8, that's nuts. I mean, this guy is just insane. He's got reach and trample, and then returns himself later in the game. I mean, there's not much more you can ask for with a guy like this. This is good. It's just going to be a threat as soon as you play it. Really aggressively costed too. 8.
All right. Next up we have Llanowar Loam Speaker. It's a colorless and a green for a 1/3. 2 mana 1/3. Creature elf druid. Tap it, add 1 mana of any color, or tap it. Target land you control becomes a 3/3 elemental with haste until end of turn. It's still a land. Activate only as a sorcery. I really like this card. I think it's super solid. It ramps you. It helps you kick your off-color stuff. It only costs 2. It's a 1/3 for 2, which is fine to sit back and block if you needed to, and it can also block with your lands. I think this is another 8. I think it's just solid.
You can't block with
You
your
can't block
lands.
with
You
your
can
lands.
only do it as a sorcery.
Oh, you're right. Okay, 7. It's a 7. You only swing at the lands.
This guy's a solid 6 for me. I mean, it's just good. This guy's going in every deck that has a green mana symbol in it for me. Flat out. It's there. It's good.
This is fucking amazing. This is like an 8. Genuinely, like the ability to turn your lands into creatures is super good. This is like Avalanche Caller. Like Avalanche Caller was fucking real good. And this is even better because it doesn't cost mana to activate. It kind of costs you mana because you're like doing that instead of adding mana, but I think this card's a bomb, Loki.
Avalanche Caller could do it twice, and didn't he make him 4/4s?
Yeah, it could do
Something
more
like
than it could do it more than once.
Yeah.
But it did cost 2, though.
No, like Avalanche Caller was really, really good.
Right.
It was an uncommon too, right?
Yeah.
All right, next up is Quirion Beast Caller. 1 colorless, 1 green. It's a 2/2 Dryad Warrior. Whenever you cast a creature spell, put a +1/+1 counter on Quirion Beast Caller. When Quirion Beast Caller dies, distribute X +1/+1 counters among any number of target creatures you control, where X is the number of +1/+1 counters on Quirion Beast Caller. Oh man, this card, if you get this on turn 2, you're just winning the game. Wow. This thing is just nuts. It's an 8.
I have it as 7. I like it. It's good.
Yeah, I think it's an 8 I mean, you kill it once and you don't really even deal with it. You just deal with the 2/2 unless you can get it really quick. So yeah, I think it's pretty good. It's a must answer threat. So it's higher than removal for me. It's an 8.
Next up, we have Silverback Elder, which is 2 and triple green for a 5/7 Ape Shaman. Whenever you cast a creature spell, choose one. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may play a land card from among them onto the battlefield tapped. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Or you gain 4 life. I have this like 9. This is a bomb.
All right. Yeah, I have this at a 9 too. I think it's super good. I mean, 5/7 for 5 is insane stats. Pulling lands out of your deck is super good. And the other 2 modes are amazing when you need them. So this is a solid 9 for me. The triple green's gonna make it hard to cast. I think in a format when you're trying to splash a third color more often than not, but it's definitely worth it.
Yeah, this is definitely a 9. I mean, every single one of those abilities is pretty relevant most of the time. Maybe not so much the artifact or enchantment destruction, but all the other stuff is good. Very aggressively costed at that 5/7 for 5. And then, of course, look at that 10 out of 10 bling he's wearing. Look at that 10 out of 10. All right, 9.
All right, next up we have Threats Undetected. It's 2 colorless and a green for a sorcery. Search your library for up to 4 creature cards with different powers and reveal them. An opponent chooses 2 of those cards. Shuffle the chosen cards into your library and put the rest into your hand. I feel like this is going to be pretty hard to pull off efficiently and get 2 super good creatures in green. You're probably going to have some, a couple big dummies, but other than that, I don't know. It does kind of wheel up quite a bit. If you can get a 3/3 and a 4/4 for this, it's pretty solid. I think I'll put it at I want to say a 6.
6 in draft, huh? I don't know. So just 2 of those cards and shuffle the rest into your library. Yeah, I'm kind of at a 3 on this. I think it's just like a good divination. Just like a really beefed up divination. You're never really getting the ones that you want, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not really getting the ones that you want, but there's plenty of cards I feel like you can grab. Like, I feel like you're going to get a 4-drop, a 5-drop, a 6-drop, and a 7-drop, and they're not going to give you the 6 and the 7, or maybe they don't give you the 4 and the 5. I don't know. Like, you're going to get better than whatever the top 2 cards of your deck are. I think that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have this at like 4. It's okay. Like I'm never gonna value it enough to ever be able to play it.
Yeah.
But
I think it may be harder to play, especially if depending on the lower the curve your deck is. That's gonna be really tough, and it may just be like inconsequential things, especially if you get your curve toppers kind of in your hand already, and then this thing feels a lot worse.
Yeah, I mean, I think just in the big green dummies deck, it's going to be pretty scary when they play it.
Yeah. All right, next up is Urborg Lurgoyf. It's 1 colorless, 1 green for a star, 1+star creature, Lurgoyf. Kicker blue or kicker black. As Urborg Lurgoyf enters the battlefield, mill 3 cards for each time it was kicked. Urborg Lurgoyf's power is equal to the number of creature cards in your graveyard, and its toughness is equal to that number +1. This guy's pretty good. I mean, he just fuels himself. You're playing creatures if you're playing green for sure. I kind of like this guy. He scales just as the game continues on. As things die, he just keeps getting bigger and bigger. Aggressively costed at 2. Pretty good. I'll give him a solid 7, 8, probably 8. I'll give him an 8.
I think Andrew's tripping. I think this is a 4. This is like the definition of like a card that's made for constructed. Like
Maybe
If you
triple.
mill yourself for like 6 cards and draft, like, I don't know. Cards that like count the number of creatures in your graveyard to base the power and toughness off of
Yeah,
always seem kind of bad.
yeah.
I
Milling
think it's
6, I guess, is pretty big cost. All right, I can go lower than 6. I'll
Yeah,
put
I
it at
don't.
6. I don't think it's that high now.
I have it at 4.
Yeah, this is like if the game goes super long and you really are, digging deep trying to top deck that one card and you have, already played a ton of cards, so you have like 10 bodies in your graveyard, and it's like super good. But on 2, 3, even 4, I don't think it's that good. So yeah, I'm at a 4.
Yeah. I think this guy's really good too when you get to the late game, and it's just so curve efficient too. You're able to double spell with this guy pretty efficiently every time, which is nothing to sneeze at. That's how you get the advantage towards the late game there when you start being able to double spell, triple spell in a turn.
I wouldn't bat
feel-
an eye at milling 6 though. Like I have no problem milling 6
Yeah.
cards.
Yeah. Playing an 0-1 on 2 though is fucking like super bad.
Well, you just hold it till you can.
Yeah,
till you can
Yeah,
hit.
but like at that point it's just a 4-drop. It's not very flexible.
Yeah, I might bump it up to a 5. I mean, I think if you mill, it's gotta have to be in the right deck. Like obviously you have to be super creature heavy. This is going
Yeah.
the same deck that Threats Undetected goes in to me. But if you're creature heavy enough, you have 18 creatures and you mill 6 cards, you're hitting 2 or 3 at least. That's pretty sick on 4. Not counting what's already happened in the game.
3-4
Like
for
you're,
4? Did you just say a 3-4 for 4?
I mean, like I'm trading my 2-drop. You know what I mean? Like that's just an average. That's a lot of setup though for a 3-4, but it'll grow all game. Like it'll just sit there and block and then turn into a threat. But it doesn't really have any evasion. I don't know. That's why
I'll
it's a
respect
5.
it.
It's a 5.
I can't imagine a world where like a 4-4 for 4 would be worse than this. Like, I don't even play like 4-4s for 4. Like, why would I play like the most try hard 3-color card to get like a 4-4 for 4?
Yeah, I don't know because it could be a lot bigger later.
I just think most of the time it won't be though.
Probably, but I'm gonna give it a 5.
Next up, we have the World Spell, which is 5 and double green for a read ahead saga. Look at the top 7 cards of your library. You may reveal a non-saga permanent card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. And then that's the first and second lore chapters. The third chapter is put up to 2 non-saga permanent cards from your hand onto the battlefield. I've got this at like 5. I don't think you're gonna play this. It might even be lower than that. I don't think it's good.
Yeah, I'm at a 3 on this. I feel like I'd rather play Anticipate. I'm already at 7 mana. I don't see
Yeah.
a reason why I would play this card.
Yeah, I'm definitely playing it on a 3. At 7, even when you get to 7, how many cards do you really have in your hand at that point? The drawing extra cards is fine, I guess, and it sort of fuels itself, but I just think you're just going to die while this thing's in play. Or you're putting in some real chaff if you have to skip ahead to it and you're just really under the gun. It's not going to save
You
you.
guys convinced me. I'm convinced. I'll bring it down to 3.
Like if this costs 4 mana, we would be somewhat iffy on it. I feel like it'd be like a 6.
If this costs 4 mana, I'd be at a 9.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Draw
But
2 cards over 2 turns, and then put a card
Basically,
into your
Collected
hand.
Company.
No, I'd play it at 4, and then you put them into the battlefield. You're putting 7/7s or 6/6s.
That's true.
2. That's like Eureka. That's insane. That's like a very powerful card.
That's true.
that'd probably be easy. I mean, you're in natural order territory at that point. I mean, I guess it's more like Eureka because you're just throwing them into the battlefield, and it's not even symmetrical too, so that's even more insane.
Yeah, that's true. Putting up to 2 is insane.
Yeah, that'd be
right.
that'd be a solid 10 because I mean, just imagine how much mana value you're getting out of that. You're putting a 7/7 worm in there and whatever else. That's just solid gas.
Yeah, that's true. 4 would be insane. You're right.
Yeah, there's probably 3 though. I mean, just because of its casting cost.
7 is very high. All right, I think we're on to the next color.
Multicolored.
Multicolored.
Craig off. Yep.